Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of Newsbytes. And in the news today, AMD has finally gone ahead and started to launch their Renoir APUs, but you can't really buy them yet. Nvidia has done Nvidia and released a new, is pushing to release a new power connector that is more than likely going to cause issues for some. And finally, Minecraft has moved from Amazon Web Services to Azure. All this and more after the intro, and of course, as always, there are going to be timestamps in the description down below. So, in a recent article from Untitled, AMD has finally launched 12 desktop Renoir Ryzen 4000G series APUs. And, well, it's kinda time. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have been waiting for these new Zen 2 APUs. And what's so special about them? Well, one, they're Zen 2s, they've got really good IPC. Two, the 4700G is a fully bona fide APU with a full 8-core CPU and a actually pretty damn competent GPU on the actual chip itself. If you actually go ahead and take a look at some of these chips, apparently the die size on the Renoir APUs is somewhat similar to as if you went ahead and took a standard 8-core Zen 2 die, as you may see on like 50X, a Threadripper, etc. Pretty much anything, you can see one of these 8-core chiplets. And it sort of looks as if they've taken that and they've literally added on an entire GPU to the side of it, plus a couple of bits to go ahead and add on the I/O parts. All in all, it's looking pretty damn beefy, especially with increased performance on, obviously, much more powerful chip. On top of that, it also includes 3200 MHz RAM support out of the box, because of course it is also Zen 2. So what do we have coming out? We've got the Ryzen 7 4700G, the 4700GE, the 4600G for the Ryzen 5, the 4600G, the Ryzen 3 4300G, and the Ryzen 3 4300GE. And alongside that, they're also launching a whole Pro lineup, including the Ryzen 7 Pro 4700G, the Ryzen 7 Pro 4750GE, the Ryzen 5 Pro 4650G, the Ryzen 5 Pro 4650GE, the Ryzen 3 Pro 4350G, and the Ryzen 3 Pro 4350G, and Jesus, these names are hard to say when you say many of them at once. The actual clock speeds on these do range a little bit though. For some reason the 4700GE seems to be a low power version of the 4700G, and as a result of that, it's got a much lower base clock speed than the rest, because this one has got 3100 MHz, but all the others are 3500 to 3800. And the actual turbo clock speed is actually really good. They hit 4 GHz dead, and the higher end models can reach as far as 4.4 GHz, of course, including a very reasonable GPU on the side. Also, in somewhat surprising news that hasn't been really talked about too much, there's also new Athlons that are coming out. Yes, we've now got what they're branding as gold and silver Athlons. So we've now got 3 that are of course going to be for the consumer space, and 3 that are going to be for the pros. So we've got the Athlon Gold 3150G, which interestingly is a 4-core 4-thread Athlon with a turbo frequency of 3.9 GHz and a currently unknown base frequency. A Athlon Gold 3150GE, so of course that's going to be a low power version, so it's just slightly lower clocked. A Athlon Silver 3050GE, which seems to essentially be the Athlon 3000G, but with a few extras tacked on top. And of course the same thing goes for the Pro versions, except it's 3150G, 3150G, and 3125GE for the Gold Pro, and the Silver Pro respectively. Going along again, the same sort of idea of different clock speeds, and of course extra features that you always get with AMD's Pro Series CPUs. But yeah, all in all, really interesting, and I can't wait to go ahead and see these chips actually come out for real, and what kind of performance we'll be seeing as actual consumers, because people that build HTPCs and stuff like that, I'm sure they cannot wait to get their hands on these. Right, up next, a topic that has been annoying me, no doubt. Seriously, this topic has been annoying me ever since I heard about it after filming last week's episode. Nvidia's rumoured new Ampere power connection. Yeah, I'm sure some of you have probably heard about this, the 12-pin power connector. Now, what this essentially is, from what I can tell from my fairly limited knowledge in the way power supplies work, is essentially they've taken 2 6-pin connectors and put them together, up the gauging on the wires, and literally just gone ahead and said it can use so much extra power because it's meant to be more robust. I mean, what they're essentially doing here is they're creating a new power connector because for some reason the new GPUs have to pull like well over 300 watts. For whatever reason. Don't ask me, I don't know. And because of that, they want to go ahead and use this brand new connector they brought out rather than two dual 8-pin connectors, which makes a lot more sense for many, many reasons, you know. But okay, so you do you, Nvidia, and the kicker is, they want to bring out this new connector that's supposed to be able to supply up to 600 watts. Now, generally speaking, even if they provide adapters in the box, they're probably going to be, for 2 8-pins, which are only rated for 150 watts each. That doesn't really add up to me. Sounds a bit dodgy, don't really trust it. Could be worse, it could be better. I personally really hope that this stuff isn't what's being said. If it is, it's not going to be good. Me personally, I'm very much losing faith of Nvidia at the moment with some of these. Now, from what is also being said, that these 12-pin connectors might only be shipped with Nvidia Founders cards, which wouldn't be too much of an issue, but you know, people might have to buy a Titan. Some people are going to have to buy Founders cards to go ahead and compare. And it's those people that are going to go ahead and politely take it up from the rear because of Nvidia. Like, this isn't a small thing. Like, some of these people, they essentially want a power connector for a power supply that doesn't even exist yet, because why would it? But I don't know. Either way, I don't like it. I hope Nvidia do not push with it, because if it does get pulled through, it's probably going to push a lot more people to pick Navi instead. Like, let's be fair here. You've got the option which is, oh cool, you don't need an adapter, because let's be honest, an adapter isn't a solution, it's a band-aid to a solution. It's not a solution. Or if you can go ahead and have something that's literally just works out the box, no problem, and gives most of the performance anyway, you're probably going to take the one that doesn't cost you essentially a new power supply for it to either look neat or to not have to use an adapter. I hope that things change, but I'm really not hopeful. So yeah, small little rant. I would go on more, and trust me, I am doing my best to keep calm here. But yeah, it is causing a lot of uproar. Some people, me especially, I can agree. I think it's massively anti-consumer, honestly. But there is only so much I can complain about Nvidia in one episode. And the final topic for today. Mojang has recently announced that Minecraft is finally making a major central system change. Now you see, Minecraft servers for stuff like Realms now have always been hosted on AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and they are now going to be moving over to Microsoft Azure, as of course Microsoft is extending more control over Minecraft itself. Obviously they recently obtained the franchise, and well, it looks like they are doing everything to go ahead and ground, of course, Mojang within their own stuff. Of course, Mojang was bought by Microsoft back in September of 2014 for $2.5 billion, and along with the core Minecraft product back then, they also launched Realms back in 2014, which, wow, that's a lot longer than I thought it was. And of course, the servers for Realms have always been on Amazon Web Services, but of course, as time has gone on, well, it looks like Microsoft is essentially pushing Minecraft to become a mainly Microsoft product. Straight from the ground up, it's seeming, from being just, you play it on Windows, on Xbox, whatever. So now you'll also be playing it on their own in-house servers. So it's interesting, it's shocking to see how much of a change they are making with a game that is this well known, but it is what it is, I guess. So, interesting little bit of news. But that is where we're going to have to call it for today. So, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Any thoughts or questions, leave a form of a comment down below. Links to all the sources for today's content will be down in the description, alongside any timestamps if you want to go back through stuff. Also in the description you'll find my Discord, Patreon, Twitch and Facebook page, all of which you can go ahead and check out to maybe get some more information. And, well, hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more content from me. As always, the 170con. Now, this is the 170con. Signing off. Take care out there, folks, and I'll catch you all same time next week for more Newsbytes.